The saga of IBM and Red Hat's crazy racist discriminatory hiring and firing practices rages on. Ahead of next month's IBM Shareholder meeting, the Heritage Foundation, representing shareholders, has issued a proposal to be voted on at the shareholder meeting to investigate IBM's discriminatory hiring practices. IBM responded with lies. Now, I want to be clear about this. I want you to note the wording that I'm choosing here. IBM is lying to their shareholders. I'm not saying that IBM is misrepresenting the truth, nor am I saying that IBM is unknowingly inaccurate. No. IBM is knowingly lying to their shareholders in a direct filing and statement to their shareholders for their shareholder meeting. Now, I'll leave that up to the lawyers out there to determine what legal actions shareholders have based on that, but I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening here because they lie. IBM lies, and I've got all the receipts. So here's what's coming up. Tuesday, April 29th, in the year of our Lord 2025, is the big annual IBM shareholder meeting. Now, IBM is the parent company of Red Hat, the world's largest Linux company, and a whole bunch of other companies. IBM is huge, and their shareholder meeting is at the end of April. They released a proxy statement. This is not an unusual thing. How this generally works for big publicly traded companies is they schedule their annual meeting, and then the board of directors, along with the executives of the company, will issue a proxy statement. They'll basically say, hey, here's all the things that we're going to be voting on at the shareholder meeting, because shareholders have some power and control over publicly traded companies, and they can propose things to be voted on, actions to be taken. And the board of directors regularly for these companies will say, here's how we think everyone should vote. They will tell you what all the votes are and how they want you to vote, right? This is a common thing. Well, in this particular case, one of the items to be voted on is item number 5. Stockholder proposal requesting a report on hiring/recruitment discrimination. Management has been advised that the Heritage Foundation, the owner of at least 1,240 shares of IBM stock, represented by Bowyer Research, intends to submit the following proposal at the meeting: report on hiring recruitment discrimination. Whereas, I'm just going to read you a few sentences from it so you get the gist. IBM is one of the largest companies in America and employs more than 280,000 people. As such, IBM ought to be recruiting employees without regard to race, gender, religious beliefs, or political affiliation, and empowering its many managers, executives to make decisions regarding recruitment and promotion in the same non-discriminatory manner. But instead, IBM is engaging in recruitment and promotion practices that prioritize so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, and expose the company to charges of not only running afoul of its legal responsibilities for non-discrimination, but jettisoning its fiduciary duty to maximize shareholder return. IBM has faced significant backlash, that's an understatement, against comments made by IBM CEO Arvind Krishna regarding the company's DEI practices. In one exchange, Krishna asserted that IBM executives are expected to meet certain recruitment quotas of underrepresented minorities, including various racial minority groups and women. As per Krishna's remarks, IBM executives who fail to reach such quotas risk slashed bonuses, demotion, or termination of employment. These policies directly require IBM executives to make recruitment or promotion decisions based on race. Okay. So this is a thing that is obviously clearly happening. The Lunduke Journal has been reporting on this for over a year now. Starting, that was a year ago this last December that the IBM and Red Hat leaks started, which included video of not just the CEO of IBM, but the CEO of Red Hat, both on video saying, yeah, we absolutely have quotas. They had very specific racial and gender quotas for hiring and firing. The Lunduke Journal published huge collections of documents that went into detail on all of it. It is undeniable, right? The proposal continues. IBM's policies raise particular concern given that DEI workplace initiatives are facing sustained legal pressure. Again, understatement. In light of recent Supreme Court decisions in Students for Fair Admissions versus Harvard, Groff versus DeJoy, and City of St. Louis versus Muldrow. Shareholders request the board of directors of IBM conduct an evaluation and issue a report within the next year at reasonable cost and excluding confidential information, assessing how the company's DEI requirements for hiring and recruitment impact IBM's risks related to discrimination against individuals based on their race, color, religion, including religious views, sex, national origin, or political views. End quote. All right, it seems pretty straightforward. It's not putting a crazy timeline on things. It's saying, hey, let's be reasonable about this, but let's do a report and say, are these racist things that we're doing? Are these DEI practices? Are they opening up IBM and all the subsidiaries like Red Hat, the Linux powerhouse? Is it opening us up to legal action? Is it hurting our overall income? Is this hurting us as a company? It seems like a reasonable thing to investigate. Well, not surprising. The shareholders of IBM came out and they flat out said they are against this proposal. Your board of directors, all in caps, by the way, recommends a vote against this proposal. The board has reviewed and carefully considered this proposal and determined that the proposal is unnecessary and would not provide additional useful information to the company's stockholders. No company policy requires IBM to make recruitment promotion decisions based on race or gender. Excuse me? Holy heavens. We literally have the CEOs of both IBM and Red Hat on video saying the exact opposite on video. We have PowerPoint presentations saying the exact opposite. We have screenshots of emails coming out the wazoo from executives at the company saying the exact opposite. We have officially filed reports from IBM, from Red Hat, and subsidiaries saying that they absolutely do have quotas for race and gender for their hiring and firing, as well as bonuses that may or may not be given to people who do or do not do really good job at being really racist. This is absolutely a real thing. That statement that IBM just made right there is a bold-faced lie. It's a bold-faced lie. It just is. I'm going to continue. I'm going to read the rest of this a little bit here because it's ridiculous. Quote, IBM is an equal opportunity employer. Its policies regarding recruiting and hiring are clearly outlined on our recruiting website and application portals as referenced below. The company neither has a policy that sets any recruitment quotas for executives, nor has a policy nor has a policy that threatens any executive with / bonuses, demotion, or termination of employment over failure to meet the non-existent recruitment quotas. The proposal does not cite any specific company policy or provide any evidence that such a policy exists. Okay. I don't have a screenshot of it here, but the proposal to be voted on included a list of links that literally included a video of the CEO of IBM saying, yeah, we have a specific policy. Yeah, we have quotas. Yeah, we fire employees for not being racist enough. It's literally the CEO of IBM saying it. So again, this one single short statement from the IBM board of directors includes several lies, not mistruths, not misquotes, not incorrect assertions, but lies. They know what the truth is, and they're lying about it. Now, here's the thing. IBM is getting sued up the wazoo right now. There are, at present, 3 noteworthy lawsuits that I'm closely tracking against IBM and their subsidiary Red Hat that are specifically around this discrimination based on race and gender and religion at IBM and at Red Hat. There's including the 2 from former employees and 1 from the state of Missouri who's suing IBM. So this is the government is suing IBM and the IBM employees are suing IBM. Yes, the board of directors is well aware of all of this. It's not surprising in the slightest. The amount of press attention this has gotten over the last year and 3 or 4 months has been off the charts. Just to give you a tiny little snippet of this, and I'm going to put a link wherever you're getting this show. I'll put a link to a timeline of events that I've put together of the Red Hat and IBM, what we've learned so far. So chronological order of when the leaks have come out, when the lawsuits have been filed, and all of that. And there's a ton. There's a huge amount. There's way too much. It would take us hours and hours just to read it all. It's a huge amount of material. But this all really started in December 11th of 2023 when James O'Keefe published a video of the IBM CEO, Arvind Krishna, who is the current CEO, stating unequivocally, totally point blank, that IBM withholds bonuses from executives if those executives fail to meet the race-based hiring quotas. He states it flat out. He also says that IBM has fired people for refusing to discriminate based on race in their hiring practices. He states that in the video. On video. The Lunduke Journal then published a huge number of leaks and whistleblower material starting just a couple of days later and all throughout the month of that December. December 22nd, I published a video of the CEO of Red Hat, which is owned by IBM, agreeing with it, saying, yes, we are well aware that this material is getting leaked. And yes, Red Hat does have a hiring quota for both minorities, racial minorities, and women candidates. They have a quota. It's a hard, firm number. And yes, people are rewarded or punished on whether or not they meet that quota. We have both of those CEOs on video. On December 20th of 2023, I published what I called the IBM email and Slack leaks, which gave us just a weird smattering of insights into the company. And all of this was verified, by the way. And I published a huge amount of this. You can go read it all for yourself. It's easy to verify for yourself, and I verified it as well. Where it stated things like diversity training being mandatory within the company, that employees are encouraged to take a public pledge to IBM's anti-white definition of allyship. This is a real thing. You were encouraged and rewarded and given a badge, an ally badge within the company, if you took anti-white training courses and you agreed and made a pledge that you were against whiteness. This is not a joke. It's a real thing. It's also reaffirmed in multiple sources that executive compensation was directly tied to IBM employees adhering to and promoting those ideas. So the better an executive did at IBM at promoting people taking anti-white pledges or diversity training and the like, the better bonus material they got, right? I also, and this is almost off to the side, but I highly recommend checking it out. On December 13th of that year, I published something called the Red Hat Allyship Kickoff Presentation. If you have not seen this, you have to check it out because it's too insane for words. In it, IBM and Red Hat made it very clear that whiteness is a very bad thing. Like, I'm not blowing this out of proportion here. There's literally slides in this PowerPoint slide deck, which I published the entire thing of, along with the speaker notes, so you can see how all of this was presented internally. Again, this was funded by Red Hat management, given to Red Hat employees during Red Hat office hours on Red Hat property. This is Red Hat with Red Hat logos everywhere. This is part of IBM. They had slides that were literally bullet point lists of good words, like good adjectives, like nice and kind and honest and things like that. And those are words that you can use for Black people. And then they had another set of bulleted lists about that were just bad words, right? Words like theft and things like that. And those are words that you can use for white people. Not a joke. Go read it. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. The amount of racism coming out of IBM and Red Hat is off the charts. And we have it on record in emails, in published documents, in court documents, in both CEOs on video. I mean, just over and over again in their annual diversity reports, agreeing that yes, IBM discriminates based on race and gender, and that's an official policy at IBM, and their executives are rewarded for promoting DEI and race-based hiring. And they just lied to their shareholders. They just went to their shareholders and said, don't look into this. Don't look at this. Oh, what's over there? Look over there. Because there's no such thing as race-based quotas or anything happening at IBM. They lied. That's fraud. That's flat out fraud. Now, this is not out of the ordinary. Just this year, Apple did something very similar. Apple, we know flat out, has known policies of not hiring people if they are a white male. That's a known policy. They prefer to not hire white males because they want to hire fewer white males inside Apple. We've had multiple whistleblowers come out, and I've reported on those at the Lunduke Journal. Well, the similar thing happened around Apple's annual shareholder report that happened back in February. There was a proposal made. Let's stop that. The proposal was simple. Let's stop doing all of our DEI racist hiring stuff. It's going to get us sued. This is just these proposals were less ideological, less moral and ethical, and more just we're shareholders and we want our share price to go up, not down. So let's not get sued into oblivion just because we're a bunch of racists, right? It was very straightforward self-preservation. And they made a shareholder proposal for Apple for their annual shareholder meetings, and Apple came out and was like, no, everyone's got to vote no on this because we want to keep doing our racist DEI hiring. And the shareholders agreed. Shareholders agreed 100% that they got to keep being racist. 1.7% of Apple shareholders voted to stop DEI hiring practices. And 72.6% of shareholders were against the proposal completely and entirely. I mean, it's wild. It's wild to me. So realistically, the same thing is going to happen here. April 29th, 2025, I'll be watching. It'll be a virtual webcast annual meeting. I'll be there hanging on every word, waiting to see what happens. But I expect something identical. I expect that IBM shareholders will vote to ignore the racist hiring practices, to not investigate and report on the already tremendously damaging to their company racist hiring practices, right? I don't think they're going to be held accountable in any way, shape, or form by their shareholders. And I think it ultimately will probably be to the detriment of their shareholders, just like it will be with Apple. If you break the law so flagrantly and you do it in a way that really cheeses off all of your employees, or at least a good chunk of them, you're going to get sued a lot. And the moment one of those lawsuits succeeds, the dominoes start falling and the rest of the lawsuits start flowing. Especially at IBM's in a far worse position than Apple here, because we have IBM on video repeatedly declaring, oh my gosh, yeah, we're racist about our hiring. I'm paraphrasing here, but you can go watch the videos for yourself. I have them all published. I have them all transcribed. You can go check them all out. You can look at the slides. You can look at the emails from all of the executives. It's all there. Again, I will put a link to that summary article I have that has a chronological order of all of the leaks from IBM and Red Hat, so you can decide for yourself. I also want to take this opportunity to point out once again how few news outlets, particularly tech news outlets, are willing to touch this story. The vast majority of tech publications get a tremendous amount of funding from IBM and their subsidiaries, like Red Hat. You will not find any honest reporting that goes in depth on any of these details at any of those tech publications. Because if they go after Red Hat, if they go after IBM with the truth on this, they'll be out of business within a few months. I mean, most of those tech news outlets are hanging on by a thread. They really are. So in a sense, you almost can't blame them. You can't blame the Register and ZDNet and all the others for not, and TechCrunch for not covering these things in depth. Any coverage is going to be so cursory and is going to try and make Red Hat or IBM look good. And in fact, some of them did that. The Red Hat actually published a piece about how the lawsuits against Red Hat and IBM are really, really bad because, I don't know, Trump is bad or something. Like, it made no sense. It was illogical, but they come to the defense of the mega corporations that pay their bills. So it's worth noting that as you look around at the rest of the coverage, that's just how it's going to go. If you want all of the details, the Lunduke Journal is your only bet. Almost all of the leaks related to IBM and Red Hat and Microsoft and everything else have all come out just through the Lunduke Journal because of supporters like you. If you subscribe to Lunduke Journal, you help support all of this. We don't take money from big tech. We run no advertisements. Not a single penny comes from big tech. IBM can't say, I'm going to pull funding from you, Lunduke Journal, because they don't give us anything. I don't care. I just don't care. In fact, many of these companies have official policies to not even utter the name Lunduke Journal. That's not a joke. They have official policies internally at many of these big tech companies. Whatever you do, don't respond to Lunduke. Don't reply to anything about Lunduke, and anything Lunduke says, don't just pretend like it doesn't exist and hope to God it goes away, because it's always the truth. Every single time. It also is worth noting that all of the coverage that I've done around this has not been disputed in any way, shape, or form by IBM, by Red Hat, by any of the executives that have been quoted. And it has been verified up the wazoo. So thank you to all the Lunduke Journal subscribers for making it possible to do this coverage, because without you, this coverage would not exist. All of those things I just showed you, and so many others relating to leaks from IBM and Red Hat, none of it would have happened if it weren't for you. You did this. You made this possible. You're awesome. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes, across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.